There we go. There we go. Lost the audio bit for a brief second. Go ratings and felicitations, everyone. My name is Felix.
And I am Pat Fox.
And welcome back to Low Blows and OwOs.
The show where furries talk about wrestling because that makes so much sense.
And welcome to this special edition of the podcast called This Month in Wrestling. Not the most original, but you know what? People are doing This Week in Wrestling, so we're doing This Month in Wrestling.
This is our podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yep. so
Mondays,
Fat Fox,
right?
Yep. So Fat Fox, how are you doing? How have you been?
I am doing A-okay. I had a busy month in April with moving and getting fully vaccinated. Get your damn vaccinations, people.
Mm-hmm.
And I also got sick with not COVID, so it's just been a hell of a month. But you know what? I've still been sitting down and watching wrestling, so nothing can take that away from me.
Oh yes. April has been it's been an interesting month for wrestling as a whole, but we'll get to that in a sec. But I also got my vaccinations, both of them. I got the first one back in March, like late March, and my second one I got, I believe, 2 weeks ago, actually.
There you go. And you've had a pretty interesting April yourself, haven't you?
I have. So
tell us about it.
Okay, so I started so it started out with me working security at a wrestling show and like taking the props from all the wrestlers, like their jackets and their masks or whatever. The week after, I had my very first wrestling match.
Hey, look at you go.
Okay, so I didn't even know I was wrestling until like the day before. So what had happened was okay, so I was training at a friend's house, and like they have their own ring set up in the backyard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the guy was like, "Hey, I'm doing a show tomorrow. Do you want in?" I'm like, "Okay." And so they had me in an 8-man elimination tag match along with someone else who was having like 3 other people that were having their first matches. We ended up losing, but I did get an elimination in, at least.
Using the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
Yep, a schoolboy by grabbing the tights. Ooh, such a heel move.
Look at you go.
Speaking of heel,
match, you've already established yourself as a heel.
Yeah. But speaking of heel moves, at one point it was going great. So, it was going good so far, but then one of the guys tagged in the veteran of the group, and like the guy was telling me like do an arm drag, like Irish whip me and do an arm drag. But the problem was I don't know how to do an arm drag. I'm like, and before I could tell him, he took off. I'm like, shit, like, so I was like, yeah, like, and he just started like jabbing me, and like then he started raking my eyes. I'm like, yeah, I'm the heel. What are you doing? you freaking idiot. I mean, he's not an idiot, but like he's used to playing the heel, so for him to play the babyface, I guess it's sort of a new concept to him, or
like a culture shock.
Yeah. So I'm like, so I just like tagged into like one of my friends, and then he got eliminated, and I eliminated the other guy, and then I got eliminated. And so on and so forth.
The dude used a headbutt against you?
Yeah, a headbutt to the jaw.
That's an interesting finisher. And you know what?
Well, it was supposed to be to the chest, but he ended up getting my jaw. But it was like, but it didn't hurt, so I was fine.
That's good. You also did you have another match?
Yes, this past Saturday. I'm sorry. It was that first match was like the pre-show type of match. That was like the first match on the card. I was in the main event for this one. It was a battle royal.
That's awesome. You went from first on the card to main event in the span of a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I knew I was going to be in the battle royal, but I was just sort of sitting there, and this guy comes up to me, and he was like, "Are there any?" Guy comes up to me and the other guys. He's like, "Are there any heels around here?" I'm like, and no one really answered. I'm like, then he goes up to me. I'm like, "Are you a heel?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if they want me to be a heel or not. And he was like, "Can you play a heel tonight?" I'm like, okay. So the plan was for us to run in on these two guys that were having a match. They're going to do like a double clothesline on each other, and at the count of 5, we were supposed to run in and like cause the DQ to set up for the next match. While we were waiting, we started talking. Like he had like, I was wearing like wolf-related gear, and so was he. So I'm like, I was good, and I was like, I'm a wolf too. I'm like, and he was like, we should form a tag team. I'm like, okay. I'm not opposed to the idea. So, yeah.
And now you're in a tag team.
Yeah. Wilderness of Rage.
Look at you go. I'm sure y'all will be set up on Twitter and stuff here soon.
Yeah. So we go in and like cause the DQ and throw the other guys out. If anything, I'm still very green at. It's my I'm trying to think of the proper word. It's like not charisma, but like
ring presence.
Yeah, something like that, or being able to sell or something. Not being able to sell. I can sell just fine. It's just well,
being able to get into character,
work in the crowd, essentially.
Okay, yeah, but I mean that comes with time. Like you're literally brand new to all this.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how many matches my partner had. So I mean before this, so I'm guessing he had a few more matches than I have, but even despite the fact he's younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's so the battle royals takes place. Everyone starts coming out, like I tried eliminating one guy, but he ended up landing on like a platform that was like right next to the ring. I'm like, darn it! So I moved over to a friend of mine and helped get him eliminated. Then I tried eliminating another friend of mine. Then along comes another friend. I'm not naming names, but just like some sort of like protecting my identity somewhat, because I don't want to reveal who I am just yet. You know?
Yeah.
But he was like, the second guy comes over and he was like, "You're just a bully," and like. Friend number 1 grabs me from behind, and friend number 2 gives me a chop.
How did that feel?
That hurt. And then they both threw me over the ring. As I was going, I'm like, "Oh God, oh God!" I'm like, "Oh, I landed on my feet."
You're like, "Oh, I'm alive. I'm alive. We're good here."
What?
Were you able to sell like being angry, like fuck this?
Not as well as I wanted to. I'm just like, I was more like, screw this, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I imagine all of it happened so fast.
Yeah, I'm like, it took me a while to process it. I'm like, shit. Fuck.
Shit, fuck, ass.
Titties. Anyway.
Titties.
But yeah, that's been my month in wrestling. in
There
terms
you
of
go. Look, in terms of your own career.
yeah.
Now we got to get you a cage match profile.
Oh dear God.
Alrighty. So let's talk about the world of wrestling on television.
Uh,
Uh, I
string.
guess
We've had a
I guess
string
we
of.
might as
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. I said we might as well go ahead and start off with WrestleMania since it was like at the very beginning of April.
Yeah, and we've had a string of very bad Raws and very mediocre SmackDowns to hype up the WrestleMania.
Yeah.
A streak that's continuing. Well, at least for Raw anyway. Like Raw has been really, really bad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and even though I feel like I feel like I know it's gonna be bad tonight, but I'm still gonna watch it just because that's what I do to myself.
One of us has to. I work on like the AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan stuff.
Yeah, you watch Elevation, and I'll watch it a little bit later.
Yeah,
I am super excited that we're having Abaddon versus Ryo Mizunami. That's
yeah.
Good. So anyway, let me pull up the card for WrestleMania. But in the meantime, I will say that the lackluster build to WrestleMania, I think, contributed to WrestleMania feeling like it really over-delivered. Like, I felt like WrestleMania was a great show.
It definitely was. Night one especially.
Especially night one, yes. Okie dokie. So, well, first, right off the bat, we had fans back in the audience, which I didn't realize how much I had missed that up until it was happening.
I mean, we'll have to like speed through it a little bit because we already did an episode on WrestleMania.
Oh, we did, right? So, well, yeah. So, did we do our thoughts on it, or did we do our predictions?
No, we did our thoughts on it.
Okay, all right. So cool. Yeah, then we can muddle past this. We've already done it.
But what I can do,
go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, but what I can tell you is, I have with me the ratings from one Dave Meltzer.
Well, let's go through them.
Concerning the results of, I mean, the outcomes of the matches and all that. So, Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer rates Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre 3.75 stars.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yep. And my phone. Let's see. My God. Sorry, my phone's being stupid. Okay. All right, here we go. We had the tag team turmoil. Dave ended up ranking each part individually. So we had Billie Kay and Carmella versus Lana and Naomi. 0.75 stars. Ouch.
Oh, ouch.
Billie Kay and Carmella versus the Riot Squad. Half a star. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus the Riot Squad. 1.25 stars. Getting better. And finally, we had Natalya versus Tamina versus the Riot. Natalya and Tamina versus the Riot Squad. 1.75 stars. And a lot of people were really behind Tamina, surprisingly.
Yeah. A lot of people were rallying behind Tamina, which I think might have contributed to her getting a bit of a push lately.
Mm-hmm. Then we
that match wasn't all that great, yeah, so
No.
I'll agree with that.
Something that, unfortunately, the women's tag division has been consistently bad, even on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Then
we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. Then we have Cesaro versus Rollins. That got 4 stars.
Great match.
I mean, that was like it was like watching a classic Ring of Honor match, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of my matches of the night. Then we had AJ Styles versus the New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos, who is 27, by the way.
He's 27. Jesus Christ.
Yep, that ended up getting a 2.225 rating.
Okay.
Then we had Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage. That got 1.5 stars. Surprised that got that high.
I personally, I feel like I would have rated it a little bit higher just because the match was a lot better than I anticipated it to be.
I'm
but that's just because the build to it was so terrible.
Yeah. Then we had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison. That got 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
Then we had the Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That got main eventing night 1, and that got 4 stars.
Good. Honestly, I would have put 4.5.
I would have put 4.5 as well. Then kicking off night 2, we had Orton versus Bray Wyatt. I think Dave Meltzer actually gave it a -1.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and they haven't done anything with it, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Then we had Shayna Baszler versus the winners of the Tag Team Turmoil, Tamina and Natalya. That got 2.25 stars.
Yeah.
Then we had Owens versus Sami Zayn, featuring Logan Paul. That got 3.75 of a star.
That was a very good match, but Logan Paul was entirely unnecessary for this feud.
At least he got a good. At least Kevin Owens gave him a stunner. Yeah,
that was a good point. That was a good move.
Riddle versus Sheamus got 4 stars.
Yeah, it was a good match. They had the right winner.
Then we had Big E versus Apollo Crews. That got 3 stars, as well as a debuting General Aziz.
Mm-hmm.
I think, formerly known as Dabba-Kato. Then we had Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. That got 3.75 stars. And the main event was Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge, a triple threat match for the Universal title, 4.5 stars.
Wow, that's the highest rated match of the entire 2-night show.
Yeah, I personally would have given it 5 because that was actually a damn good match.
It was a very good match. So yes, those are all the star ratings. Overall, I thought the show was very good. Of course, it had its high and low points, but there wasn't any point during the show that I was like, this is completely unwatchable.
Well, except for that one bit with the Fiend losing. I'm like, why would you do that? He needed the win.
He did need the win. I was more shocked and confused or anything.
And the thing is, I think Randy Orton wanted Wyatt to win as well. Like,
he was supposed to win, but then they changed it like the day before.
Yep. No, they changed it the day of, and like, the thing is, with all this stuff, they're making it up as they go along.
Mm-hmm. Which contributes. I'm sorry, guys. Which contributes to Raw being so bad.
Yeah, like the Raw after Mania is considered one of the worst episodes of Raw ever. Like, Ollie Davis.
It was not as bad as Legends Night at the beginning of the year, but it was very bad.
I actually thought it was worse than Legends Night. Like, even Ollie Davis from Wrestle Talk gave it a 0 out of 5. I think he gave Legends Night a 2 or a 1.
Yeah. Legends Night was. Both of these episodes were absolutely abysmal.
I knew Legends Night was just an attempt to get the ratings up, and I knew it was just gonna be filler nonsense. So like I knew I had low expectations for that.
However, this episode after WrestleMania,
I had high expectations.
yeah, I did too. I was very let down.
Yeah, this was supposed to be like the reset button, but no, that didn't happen.
I gotta pull up. Let's see.
Matt Riddle got squashed. Damian Priest lost, and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke ran away from Nia Jax like little children.
and and then their music started playing.
And Byron Saxton claiming this is better than them beating them. I'm like, no, it is not. You know what's better than beating them? Beating them! You fucking idiot! This episode infuriated me. I fucking hated it. Like, yeah. But the only good thing on Raw right now is RK Bro. But
well, you know my position on Matt Riddle. He drives me bonkers.
Shame you didn't see him in his NXT run. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he's great in the ring, but his character and just hearing him talk. I will say, so talking about this this episode of Raw after WrestleMania, I was very happy to see the Viking Raiders back.
Yeah, about time. But and they beat Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. We broke up the Hurt Business. Why?
Yeah, and now both of those two they've lost every week, and now they have just fallen off the face of the earth for no reason whatsoever.
It's like, also, where the hell have AJ Styles and Omos been? They're the tag champs, and they haven't even been on Raw in so long. Who knows? They might be on Raw tonight, but I don't know.
They're scheduled to be because they've got a match against the New Day.
A rematch. Oh joy!
That's another thing. Like, ever since WrestleMania, Raw has been full of WrestleMania rematches, full of them.
And tonight we get the pleasure of watching Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Naomi and Lana again.
And same thing on SmackDown. Like, Nia and Shayna have been having matches with Natalya and Tamina on just about every single SmackDown since WrestleMania happened. Every damn week.
I think the solution is not really to get rid of the tag belts, but just book it better, you know? Yeah, also, get Shayna away from the tag belts and get her into the title picture. She deserves so much better.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like what would have done the women's tag titles a lot better would have been to have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez win them.
Yeah.
Instead of introducing NXT's version of women's tag titles, just have the original ones float around NXT for a little while and have them challenge for on the main roster too. Because there are more competent women's tag teams in NXT, but the women's tag title on the main roster, it's so cluttered and kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no one is benefiting from it.
And let's not forget about actually, you know what? Here's how I would have booked the Raw following Raw after Mania, like just focusing on the women's tag match. Instead of it being Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke for the belts, instead I would have the Riot Squad debuting on Raw and having Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke go over to SmackDown and have them win the belts because they could be like, hey, we lasted longer in that gauntlet, so why don't we have a match like for the belts? And so they pin Nia Jax to become the new champions. Shayna Baszler, turns on Nia Jax, hits her with the Karakuda clutch, and just walks out. Yeah, it'd be breaking up another tag team, but it'd be setting up a major push for Shayna.
Yeah, and in general, it's breaking up a tag team that was kind of thrown in randomly anyway.
Yeah. They could pair Nia up with someone else, for all I care.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the women's tag team titles has been really stagnant for even since before WrestleMania.
And here's the thing.
I think new champions will do us some good.
Yeah. And here's the thing. They had plenty of women on their roster that they could use to make new tag teams. But history repeats itself, and we had another, literally 1 year later, we had another mass firing.
Literally exactly to the day, April 15th.
In fact, I'm gonna... Okay, Google, stop fucking with me.
I've got them up here.
Okay.
Let's see. Scroll down a bit. All right, so from the week of April 15th, WWE released Lars Sullivan, Steve Cutler, Andrade, Billy Kay, Mickie James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Kalisto, Wesley Blake, Samoa Joe, Bo Dallas, Peyton Royce, Mojo Rawley. Yeah, that's everyone. That's
Steve Cutler was fired last year, and as well as Lars Sullivan, and Andrade was fired. Was let go before April 15th, before WrestleMania.
Gotcha. They were all lumped in together on this list then.
Yeah, they broke up the Iconics.
The Iconics!
And they released them. They also got rid of Chelsea Green. And they also got rid of Mickie James. You had women that you could put together a team. You could have reformed the Iconics.
Oh, I was waiting.
And Billy Kay was just at WrestleMania, too. And you people wonder why I don't give WWE my money anymore. I absolutely refuse to give them any shred of money. Because they're just fucking insane. They don't give a shit about their quote-unquote independent contractors. They should be treating them... Oh my god. Sorry.
It was very disheartening. And a lot of the names on there were very surprising. Like Samoa Joe especially, I think, was...
And he was wanting... From what I could gather, he was trying to get cleared to wrestle again, but they wouldn't let him. So they just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And as for Billy Kay, apparently Kevin Dunn didn't quote unquote get Billy Kay. What's not there to get? She was funny.
She really was.
And
Billy Kay was one of my favorites.
And what about Peyton Royce? What the hell?
Yeah, I don't get why they split up the Iconics so that they could give Peyton Royce a push.
That never happened.
They threw them both into a different tag team, and then released them.
This company.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I am looking forward to seeing where everyone else will end up. I mean, we saw that recent that Andrade popped up in AAA.
Yep, and he's challenging Kenny Omega for the AAA's top title.
That'll be
I
fun.
mean, it's not nearly as bad last year because last year it was like at the start of the pandemic and like everything was shutting down. So and and WWE would let them go just so they could make a profit.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much did the same thing this year, except things are starting to open back up again, at least here in the U.S. You know,
Hmm. Yeah. This year seemed unnecessary.
and but I'll put it this way: at least it was less casualties.
Yeah. Last year it was
and
like was it around 100 last year.
yeah,
Not just wrestlers, but like other staff.
something like that, like 40% of their workforce.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Tucker seemed to be happy as hell.
Oh, he is about to spill some major tea. I can tell.
Oh yeah,
As soon as that clause is up, like he is gonna pull a Moxley and just spill all of the tea. I kind of can't wait for it.
yeah.
um, and honestly, I really hope that the Iconics pop up either in Impact or AEW because I want to see them on TV again.
Eight Impact would definitely make sense considering they have women's
They have a
tag
solid
titles.
women's tag division, yeah.
Yep, and AEW would also make sense because they kind of do need a few more female stars in there, and also Peyton Royce's fiance or
Husband, I think.
husband is in the Pinnacle. That'd be Sean Spears.
Yep,
So either way, it's a win-win for either company.
true. Yeah, and I feel like Chelsea Green will probably end up in Impact to along because that's where Matt Cardona is right now.
Yep.
Um, I honestly I can see Mojo Rawley and Samoa Joe both going to Impact because Joe is a legend there,
I want to
and
see Samoa Joe in New Japan.
yeah, that would be cool. Um, and Mojo Rawley, he teamed with Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cardona, for a long time, so I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except that, well, for Mojo Rawley, I think didn't Matt Cardona actually say he hated tagging with him?
I have no idea.
But yeah, there are WWE started selling NFTs.
And see, I'm not super well versed in what NFTs are. I just know that they're very confusing and they don't really make a lot of sense.
And they also take up a lot of energy. And are it's apparently bad for the environment.
Yeah, cryptocurrency.
Yep. I mean that stuff is still somewhat foreign to me as well because I mean I don't really get much of that stuff anyway. But if it's better for the environment, don't fucking do it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about excuse me, what more is going on with WWE. Now, this storyline is actually something I'm kind of enjoying. It's Alexa Bliss and Lily.
I mean,
I don't know why I really like it.
The problem is that's Bray's gimmick that they're using on Alexa.
And I do understand that. That is unfortunate, but I don't know what it is about it. I like it. I think Alexa does it really well.
I mean, they definitely picked the right person to do it. It's just,
And
I
honestly,
feel so bad for Bray.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, they did him dirty again. When it comes to Alexa Bliss, like I feel like this is the character that she needed to like rebuild her career, because before all this, she really wasn't anything like outstanding.
I thought she was totally fine. Like, as a like in her heel run, as a champion, I thought she was totally fine.
And I think part of that for me is because whenever I started getting back into wrestling, it was her run as champion, it was like that in between with between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember watching her cash in the Money in the Bank, and then a month later Ronda Rousey had it. So, so I didn't really see her as a long time heel champion.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I did like her whole thing with Nikki Cross. I enjoyed her and Nikki Cross.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Nikki Cross,
Where the hell? Where the hell? Sorry, that's my phone vibrating. Where the hell is she?
I don't know. She popped up at the Royal Rumble, and she hasn't been seen since. And even with the Rumble, she was off TV for months before the Rumble came around. But like,
let's give her a singles push and give her the SmackDown title. You know?
Yeah, like they were doing last year. I know that she had a big push for the SmackDown title with Bayley last year.
Yeah.
I think she could be a good champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss Nikki Cross. Oh, what else is going on, huh?
SmackDown has been the best thing in WWE, next to NXT. Although,
honestly, I separate WWE and NXT in my brain.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I stopped really caring about NXT is mostly because look at guys like Matt Riddle, Damian Priest, like Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, like so many great names that came from NXT, and they're doing little to nothing with them. Well, with Riddle, they're using Randy. He's pairing him up with Randy Orton, which is actually kind of cool. Damian Priest, he's kind of where the hell is Keith Lee at?
Oh God, yeah, where the hell is Keith Lee?
And they're only recently finally using Aleister Black again.
Mm-hmm.
Humberto Carrillo, like Angel Garza. They recently released Andrade before WrestleMania. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But SmackDown is but yeah, SmackDown has been excellent. It looks like they're giving Cesaro a push to the Universal title, which is great.
Finally,
the man deserves a title.
I'm wondering what's gonna be going on with Daniel Bryan now.
Oh yeah, last Friday, he had a main event with Roman Reigns, a pay-per-view caliber match for the Universal title, and if Daniel Bryan loses, he has to leave SmackDown. This could be, and Roman Reigns picked up the win. This could lead to either Daniel Bryan going more part-time to focus more on his family, or this could contribute to his contract expiring, and who knows, he might be elsewhere. But I kind of think he'll probably just stick with WWE.
Yeah, probably. What else is going on SmackDown? Outside of Roman Reigns and Cesaro and Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, of course, she's fantastic. She's got her feud going on with Bayley right now.
Yep. Although Bayley has been very confusing in this feud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's up with her just having random fits of laughter?
It's the writing. They're starting to lose. How do you ruin Bayley? They're starting to.
Ding dong, hello.
Yeah. I've been enjoying AEW more. Go figure.
Yeah. We had a few. Darby Allin is the current TNT champion, and he's been main eventing a few shows lately, defending the title. He had a very good match with Preston Vance, aka number 10 of the Dark Order.
10.
Yep.
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy. We've also been teasing the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle at this Wednesday's Blood and Guts.
I'm super stoked for that.
Yep. We had Kenny Omega win the Impact World Championship. So now
Holy fuck.
So now we have so who do you think Kenny is going to go after next if they're planning to add more belts to Kenny's name?
Yeah, honestly, and I do like the belt collector thing. I do think it's a good gimmick, and if there was one person to do it with, I mean, Kenny Omega is he's the one to do it with.
Yep.
But now that he's got the AEW title, the Impact title, and the AAA title, I could see him probably going after the IWGP US title.
Why the US, not the World Heavyweight title?
Just because Moxley is more accessible.
Well, Will Ospreay put out the challenge though.
Yeah, since Son Andrade. Yeah. I feel like the travel restrictions are still kind of touchy when it comes to Japan and Mexico.
I mean,
and such.
well, the thing is, Japan. We're having a New Japan match next week between Moxley and another legend.
Oh, that's right. And didn't his name Takeshita?
Kenta, the former Hideo Itami.
Kenta was there, but this guy. Takeshita was his last name. I can't remember his first name, but he popped into AEW for a few matches on Elevation.
Yeah, so like travel restrictions are starting to loosen up a little bit in Japan. So I want to see Omega go after the ROH champion Roosh.
Yeah, I would definitely like to start looking into some other companies. I haven't watched a whole lot of ROH, but I'd like to.
There's also
I feel like NWA.
The AEW and NWA have a working relationship, so that definitely makes sense. Though part of me believes that Nick Aldis, I mean, he'll probably do the match, but he'll be less. I think he'll be a bit more likely to try to hang on to the title because Nick Aldis is like the crown jewel of the NWA right now. Like he holds that the NWA title with so much on such a high pedestal, more so than the WWE title and New Japan title. Like Nick Aldis loves NWA, so it's gonna be interesting to see if they'll actually take the belt off Nick Aldis.
I feel like if they did, it might be towards the end of Kenny Omega's title run, because the main reason that they're doing this is for AEW to shine light on other quote unquote lesser known companies.
Yeah, and the thing is, NWA isn't really a lesser known company, but it's not as it's a bit more obscure nowadays.
Yeah, just like Impact is.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since Kenny Omega started feuding, and especially ever since he won the title, Impact's viewership has never been better in recent years. Not since they've been on primetime television for sure.
Kenny could also try to go after the AML title, which is currently held by Caprice Coleman, who is actually one of my trainers, by the by.
Oh wow. I actually haven't heard of AML.
I highly recommend you check that out. Caprice Coleman is also part of Ring of Honor. So,
okay. What's this? What are the ones? CZW or PWG? The really more well-known indie promotions.
I don't know if PWG shut down.
Did they?
I'd have to double check. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Yeah, because whenever I make the finishes in 60 seconds videos and I look at some of the indie wrestlers, like a lot of the indie wrestlers that are in like some of the major promotions right now, they've all like gone through PWG. I wish Lucha Underground was still a thing because I think Kenny Omega and Lucha Underground would be fun.
Yeah. Huh. Effie is the current owner of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Oh, go Effie.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, but of course,
this is complete fantasy booking of mine, but I think it'd be really cool to see Kenny Omega holding the WWE title just for a bit.
The whole world would collapse at that point because
that would be the exact moment that hell freezes over.
Yeah, because you know how WWE is with collaborating with other companies. Although some have recently, some people have actually went on to say that WWE is now starting to become more open to working with other companies. Like some people have said that they're wanting to start a relationship with AML. Others say that those haven't that talks have never happened. But it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's a lot of hearsay right now, but you never know until it actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like Kenny Omega, I think, will probably collect around maybe 6 or 7 belts before people start taking them off of him.
Hangman Adam Page had his first singles loss against Brian Cage.
That was something I never saw coming.
It's something I didn't see coming, but I'm glad they did. Sort of to help build up towards the eventual Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page match for hopefully the AEW World Title.
Mm-hmm. And I think, see, as I was thinking about it, I did think that that was the right move because it kind of goes to show in AEW how the rankings really can change on a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Adam Page will have to, and it also gives them more time to build up Adam Page even more.
Yep. Britt Baker is now the number 1 contender for Hikaru Shida's AEW World Title. I mean, AEW Women's Championship.
She is 100% about to win that belt at Double or Nothing.
I cannot agree more.
She definitely needs to, for sure.
Yeah.
As much as I love Shida, like she just hasn't been able to do much during her run.
Yeah, like I love Shida, but I definitely think it's time for a new champion.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like with Britt Baker as the champion, it'll have the opportunity to be featured more often.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
we just about covered it for this month in wrestling.
Yeah, that's just about it. A lot of stuff. That's about all that I can think of that stuck out to me anyway. That's happened in April. I'm super excited about Blood and Guts. Personally, my prediction, I think, the Pinnacle is going to win.
The Pinnacle has to win at this point. Like
the Pinnacle does have to win.
Some are speculating this might be Jericho's last match, but I don't think so. I think I think Jericho's wanting to save the last match for something a bit bigger, maybe. Like,
yeah. And if it was Jericho's actual last match, I think they would hype that up a lot more as Jericho's last match, kind of like they did with what comes to mind, like Kurt Angle. How they
Kurt Angle got the short end of the stick on that one. I mean no disrespect to Baron Corbin, but but Kurt Angle wanted John Cena.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, but no. Whenever it comes to Jericho's last match, like that's going to be like a AEW special on its own.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like his 30th anniversary was.
Yeah, and as well as Winter is Coming and the St. Patrick's Day thing, as well as the Brody Lee tribute.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Fight for the Fallen is coming soon.
Oh yeah.
And then Is that before or after Fighter Fest?
Uh, I'm thinking it's after Fighter Fest.
Yeah, because I'm thinking last year it was like 3 weeks in a row. It was Fighter Fest week 1, then week 2, and then Fight for the Fallen right after
Yeah, Fighter Fest.
that. So yeah, that's all that's been going on. Raw has been terrible. SmackDown has been okay. AEW has been keeping me the most entertained. And I think at this point, Felix is 100% hashtag all elite at this point.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
TikTok.
expect.
You missed the first 20 minutes of Elevation.
It's fine. It'll be uploaded in full to YouTube. It'll be fine.
Sure.
Besides, I gotta make dinner.
Yeah.
So, and what's on the menu tonight? Probably just some ramen. I don't know.
Ramen.
Yep. You know what I haven't had in so long? Like proper, delicious ramen.
Girl.
Like there's this one place in Charlotte where you could get ramen to go. I went. Like there was a ramen place near my hometown, and they shut it down. And I'm so sad because it was my favorite ramen restaurant.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
But the place I go to now is fine. I love having the shoyu ramen. It's so good.
This is, I mean, it's somewhat related to ramen, but also not. You're making me want sushi really badly.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm only recently coming around to sushi. Like there are certain sushis I won't eat, but there are certain ones that I absolutely will engorge myself with.
I mean, the sushi that I eat would make any person from Japan like actually physically cringe.
Why? What is it?
Because it is the most not Japanese sushi ever.
What is it?
So there's this. My favorite sushi place is called Rock and Roll, which I think you would love this place if you ever.
It's the one with the conveyor belt, right?
No, Rock and Roll Sushi. If you ever get to come down here and visit me, it's a sushi restaurant, but it's themed off of like late 80s, early 90s rock music, classic rock.
Ooh.
Like their menus are literally vinyl covers from old records.
Oh, wow.
They've got portraits of musicians. There's like, you see Michael Jackson, they've got Stevie Nicks and Gene Simmons all up on the wall. And they always have a few screens playing music video playlists of 80s rock.
Oh, wow.
It would be like your dream place, I guarantee you.
It would be very cool if they played like some Japanese music videos, like bands like Anthem, X Japan, and Loudness, like even some like city pop bands like Maria Takeuchi. Like it'd be really cool if they did that to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, but what was I going with? Oh yeah, the sushi. So the sushi that I get, it's shrimp tempura with cream cheese inside, and it's got the whole roll is like flash fried, and it's got crab meat on top. Ooh. Oh, it is to die for, but it is very not Japanese.
I do too. I too prefer the tempura rolls, although because I like my fish a little more cooked.
Yeah, I can't eat raw fish.
I mean, I can eat like some, like I can eat raw fish like on a blue moon, once in a blue moon, but for the most part, I tend to stay away from those kind of sushi rolls.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's another one that I get at a different place that's literally like smothered in cheese.
Oh dear Christ!
It's so good.
There's a place that's similarly called Rock and Roll's Sushi. It's and you get your sushi from this conveyor belt, like they do in Japan. Like some places do in Japan, like they serve it out to you on like a conveyor. You just take however much sushi you want.
Cool. I think I've seen a couple places like that, like up in Alabama. But
Yeah.
they don't have anything that fancy down here in Pensacola.
Well, I wouldn't say
All
it's
right.
fancy, but it's a bit more convenient.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that wraps it up now that we've deviated from wrestling to sushi.
Yeah. But hey, I love my Japanese. I love Japanese culture, and I love Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, they go hard.
Yeah. Oh
Are
yeah,
you
I forgot to
excited?
mention. New Japan have recently, after
Oh,
the creation of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, we also had another.
are you talking about their belt redesign?
Yes, they had a new a new IWGP belt instated. That would be the IWGP Strong Openweight Championship.
Strong openweight.
Yep, and the first and the inaugural champion is Mr. Tom Lawler. Will Ospreay is the current IWGP Heavyweight World Heavyweight Champion. John Moxley of AEW fame is the IWGP United States Champion. Hiroshi Tanahashi is the Never Openweight Champion. Uh,
I like
Gorillas.
the belt design.
Yep. Uh,
Simple. Not bad.
Gorillas of Destiny, aka Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, are the current IWGP Tag Team Champions. Uh, IWG, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion is El Desperado. The Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions are. I am going to butcher this name. It's Sho and Yo, aka Roppongi 3K. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. The Never Openweight 6-Man Tag Team Champions are Chaos. That would be Hiroki Goto.
Oh snap! Will Ospreay just beat Kota Ibushi?
Yes. Tomoro
Oh,
Ishii and Yoshihashi. The current what,
6-man tag team.
no, the KOPW champion is Toru Yano.
King of Pro Wrestling. I like it. Lots of titles, and they're also pretty.
Yep. And here's to hoping we actually that AEW gets their own 6-man tag, because they've been hinting at it for quite a while now.
They definitely could use one too. They've got a big 6-man tag division there.
Oh yeah. Death Triangle and the Best Friends are currently feuding, so it makes
There you
sense
go.
for them.
Plus, there are like 300 different factions in there that could also get in on the fray.
Yep. I kind of want Dark Order to be have the belts first.
Same. Alrighty, well, it is time for us to wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Uh, and until next time, I am Fab Fox,
My name is Felix.
and we will see you next time on Low Blows and OwOs.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.